Traveler's Psalm, or a Psalm for Protection. Psalm 121, a deep dive into its meaning and importance. Psalm 121 is part of the Songs of Ascents, Psalms 120 to 134, a collection of psalms that were sung by Jewish pilgrims traveling to Jerusalem. This psalm in particular offers assurance of God's protection, guidance, and care in all circumstances. 1. Context and background. A psalm of trust. Unlike other psalms that focus on lament or praise, Psalm 121 is entirely about trust in God's protection. A pilgrim's song. Ancient travelers faced dangers such as robbers, harsh weather, and wild animals. This psalm reminded them that their safety came from God, not human means. Used in worship. Even today, Jews and Christians recite Psalm 121 in prayers for protection, especially during travel or challenging times. Second verse-by-verse analysis. Verses 1 to 2. Looking to God for help. I lift up my eyes to the hills. Where does my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. The phrase, I lift up my eyes to the hills, can mean two things. 1. The hills of Jerusalem, where the temple stood, symbolizing God's presence. 2. A contrast to false help, as pagan temples were often built on high places. The psalmist immediately answers his own question. Help comes only from God, the creator of everything. Verses 3 to 4. God's constant watchfulness. He will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep. Ancient roads were rocky and dangerous. A small slip could mean injury. God never sleeps, unlike human protectors who grow tired. This reflects his unwavering care over Israel and his people. Verses 5 to 6. Protection from external and hidden dangers. The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night. The sun represents visible dangers, harsh conditions, exhaustion. The moon represents hidden dangers, fear, spiritual attacks, unseen threats. Shade at your right hand symbolizes God's nearness and covering. Verses 7 to 8. Total security in God. The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going both now and forevermore. Keep means to guard, protect, and preserve. Coming and going signifies every part of life, traveling, working, resting, and even life and death. The eternal promise, now and forevermore, shows that God's protection is not just for a season, but for eternity. 3. Themes of Psalm 121. A. Divine protection. This psalm reassures that God actively guards his people from all forms of harm, seen and unseen. It reminds believers that even when danger seems imminent, God is in control. B. God's constant presence. Unlike human guards or earthly leaders, God never sleeps and is always aware of our struggles. Jesus echoed this in Matthew 28:20, saying, I am with you always. C. Trust and faith. The psalmist confidently states that help comes from the Lord alone, not from people, governments, or wealth. This aligns with Proverbs 3:5 through 6, which teaches us to trust in the Lord instead of our own understanding. 4. How Psalm 121 applies to our lives today. For travelers. Many recite Psalm 121 before traveling as a prayer for safety. For spiritual protection, used in prayers against evil, anxiety, and fear. For comfort in uncertain times, encourages trust in God during struggles, illness, or danger. For daily life, reminds us that no matter where we go, God is watching over us. Fifth connection to the New Testament. Psalm 121 foreshadows the protection and guidance believers receive through Christ. John 10:27 to 28. Jesus, the Good Shepherd, promises to protect his sheep. Romans 8:31. If God is for us, who can be against us? Reflects the confidence of Psalm 121. 2. Thessalonians 3:3. The Lord is faithful, and he will strengthen you and protect you from the